How is everyone doing? I haven't done one of these readings in the longest time. The love readings. I've done a few over the past few months. I did want to do one for Virgo. Be back in 1 second. Okay. So Virgo. I don't quite know how this happened, Virgo. I was planning on doing a reading. I had an email or two that I had to answer. I was doing a couple other things, and then I just put my hand out here, and my cat was here. I have to admit, she feels pretty nice on my hand right now. But Virgo, I'm here to do a reading on love for the Virgo collective. So if you have significant Virgo energy, maybe you have a Virgo sun, a Virgo moon, a Virgo rising. As these are love readings, you can also pay attention to your Venus sign. So Virgo Venus. And I leave this up to you and how your own natal chart is populated. But if you have populated do I say crowded, or if you have stuff in your 7th house, and maybe it's a 7th house in Virgo. I mean, I leave that all up to you, right? But there's different ways that you could have significant Virgo energy for these collective readings. And I would definitely say that a Virgo Venus applies, and I leave that up to you, obviously, but a Virgo 7th house, a Virgo Jupiter, all those placements could also apply. Virgo Juno, the asteroid Juno. But anyway, so if you're here, obviously you have Virgo energy. Virgo, I will be doing 13 readings in this session. First one will be a general reading on love. We'll check out what the tempo is. The second part will be the 12 sign zodiac breakdown. So this will see how other signs are energetically vibrating to you. Shall we say it that way? Virgo, for the readings, I'm not particularly thinking of the red energy that would be associated with passion and lust and action per se, but I'm thinking more if we were to put it as a color, pink. And the vibrations and warmth of understanding, compassion, empathy, around that, which of course with a good foundation, all other types of emotions can follow, right? But first, that's where we start with. So I'm also going to say that although these are love readings, you can also think about them as affinity readings. So they could be your friend as well, for friendship. It could also be someone who you are in contact with, Virgo, someone who you have yet to meet. So I want you to keep that in mind when we start doing the zodiac breakdowns. Now, let's go and start. Let's go and start your basic reading, the first part. Let's go and see what is happening for love for Virgo. My cat is there like going, oh, and of course, Virgo, if you appreciate my time, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's see, Virgo. What do I have for Virgo and love right now? I have a Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy, Eight of Wands. New beginnings for you, Virgo, is in your energy. Also, too, very curious energy. I could almost say in this type of messages that are coming through, Virgo, now's the time to go and step out into directions that perhaps you would not be inclined to do, or you would have not been inclined to do previously. You know, you have new opportunity here, but it's also new opportunity to go and explore that which really hasn't come on your radar. And then we have the Fool, the Star, Temperance, Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy, Six of Wands. You know, in this energy, Virgo, it's like yourself. You know what you know. I feel too in this energy, Virgo, you have a very clear stance of yourself. You're not necessarily one, Virgo, to be swayed or affected by how people perceive you. You're doing your thing, and in doing that, you have your fans, you get your attention, but that's not really, it feels like that doesn't affect you, or that's not really something that you pay attention to. But this is something that's in your energy, very confident, very accomplished, very solid in who you are. You're not necessarily needing external validation to be there, like, how good am I? You don't need to go and necessarily, let's say you don't need to maintain yourself or boost yourself up based upon other people. You're confident in yourself. Thank you for the like. With this other energy that we have here, Temperance, Star, and Fool. Well, it feels like some very distinct players are coming out too, Virgo. Let me just go and say that if I was starting to call signs, I would have like Capricorn, Leo, but really strong signs here with Temperance, Star, and Fool. I read my Fools as Aquariuses. So very strong Aquarius and Sagittarius energy. We could also be talking, Virgo, about timing come mid-November to, what would it be, mid-February, somewhere around there. So upcoming energy, but also too, Temperance, this collection that we have here is really asking you, Virgo, what have you been holding yourself back from? What could you explore more? What other factors, Virgo, have you not really allowed yourself to express? With all this air energy, it could also be what kind of thoughts and words and conversations have you been restraining yourself from having? For whatever reason, maybe too, in this energy, Virgo, as I said, it's very self-confident energy. Thank you for the likes. It's very self-confident energy. You can also to Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. Don't tell me, Virgo, that you can also look at a situation or look at a person, and maybe it could take some time, maybe it doesn't have to take any time, but you can also see pretty much where it's at. Maybe too, Virgo, in this energy, there hasn't been a need to engage or need to go and state what's on your mind. But I am getting in this energy, especially as I said, that we do have this inclusion of air. Something to think about. Think about how you're expressing yourself, and if you could express yourself more. One could also say express yourself more. What would be the benefit of it? But I do think it's a liberating experience. Remember too, Virgo, in this basic energy that I have, 8 of Wands and Page of Pentacles, this is asking you to move a little differently than you have before. Grow some wings, or grow some flippers and move differently. See what it's like to move differently than how you have before, whether it's flying, swimming, running, what have you. Now that my little kitty has moved on, let's go and get some more space up here. Okay. So we have a Page of Pentacles. And let's go and find out more. Page of Pentacles with some offers coming in. Actually, I do want to fold these in before I read them. Okay, and that Fool, I think I didn't shuffle that. I just mixed it up. All right. So Page of Pentacles and slippery cards. Page of Pentacles, I have a 7 of Wands, which I think I could still push this further back. Page of Pentacles also gets a Queen of Wands. Strong fire here. When I was reading that initial burst of energy, although I called out signs, well, we had strong Aquarius, right? I don't really recall. Oh, now I do. Sagittarius and Aquarius with some other cards. Anyway, strong fire here all the way around. With some Pisces. Moreover than that, though, with all this fire being here, Virgo, what this tells me, well, how adventurous do you feel, Virgo? 7 of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the Moon. How adventurous are you feeling? Also, too, what have you been restraining yourself from just in general? Restraining yourself in action, restraining yourself in feeling, restraining yourself from exploring. All that we have here is basically exploratory energy. Consider the possibilities, develop the possibilities. I'm not going to say be more open, because Queen of Wands and the Moon, if you ask me, is really open energy. You are already in this energy, open to it, but it's taking that initial step, or perhaps having that specific someone who provides the right sort of door, the right sort of partnership to explore. Anyway, very, very interesting energy here. What it also tells me, again, I said move differently. Queen of Wands and the Moon is pretty innovative, pretty unique energy, unusual. There is connections here that are going to be different than what you have explored. And I mean, Page of Pentacles makes everything seem attractive enough, approachable enough. But I do feel Queen of Wands with the Moon is pretty heavy energy. Let's see Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands gets a King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and Wheel of Fortune, 9 of Swords. So we have a push and pull here, Virgo. You know, it feels like you yourself are open and eager for someone to clearly state their commitment, also too, to be able to provide. I'm not going to say provide commitment or provide things. It's more like just able to provide. They're able to provide their knowledge, able to go and provide their empathy, able to go and provide their support, however that may be or break down. With Wheel of Fortune here, 9 of Swords. You know, we do have timing here, timing as an aspect with all of these cards. So Queen of Wands, I never really get much timing from her. But in these energies, we have all the aspects of time, but together it doesn't really come through as time. It really comes through as almost the force or the speed in which someone is able to go and display what you're looking for. Do you give them, Virgo, too much time? Or have you given, Virgo, in the past, people too much time to display their authenticity? Have you been giving them too little time to display their authenticity? I don't quite think so with 9 of Swords, though, energy here. If anything, 9 of Swords energy with this King of Pentacle, Knight of Swords energy is almost a little too trusting. Too trusting, and maybe now you could mistrust your own eyes. You don't want to you don't want to necessarily perceive something to be better than it actually is. You need proof. And for proof, you need time. Complicated Queen of Wands. 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands gets the Empress. King of Swords. Well, I definitely have achievement and in being impressive here. Also, too, almost like a carefully studied cultivation of what is impressive. Perhaps, Virgo, in what you are looking for something to be impressive or for someone to be impressive. You've come across people who meet that core criteria. I kind of think in this energy, there is a little bit of a gap. It's like there's a mastery gap of one person over another, and that's noted. Maybe even a bit competitive. Also, too, in this energy, Virgo, I wonder, have you dealt with people prior who tried to hitchhike their own laurels and achievements by sort of commandeering yours, or perhaps dismissing yours, or downgrading yours, or diverting yours? In this energy, Virgo, there's a tendency, perhaps, or at least in the energy that I have right here, for people to see everything that you've worked towards and that you've built. And then rather than someone else with an equal amount of effort and ability, that they would want to go and mold that. Perhaps, one could say too, King of Swords energy here with the Empress and the World. Well, of course we can say this. There are many different ways in which we have talents, right? And many different ways in which we have gifts, many different ways in which we build success. Some are standard to our society, some are not. Some people care about what success is measured, how success is measured in our societies, others don't. So I'm not saying this person is without their own benefits, but I do feel that there's a little bit of cutting down that this person does, because even if you may not recognize your own gifts, which again, when we were first initially pulling that energy, we had that 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and something in between. Oh, 6 of Wands. And that energy as we were pulling was basically knowledge and assurance in yourself. What I have here is that knowledge and assurance of your gifts, what makes you shine, is also something that is logged by other people. And perhaps they try to restrain it. Like a butterfly, Virgo, like a firefly. And then we have the moon. Moon. I have 2 of Cups. Magician. 8 of... Well, of course, let me just go. I'm laughing a little bit here, Virgo, because I feel like you've been dealing with some very strong individuals, some strong personalities. And maybe their ability is kind of dwarfed by what they say they can do. Like they act like they do more than they do. Not saying that they don't do, but not to the extent, Virgo. I feel like what you do, you show. And what they say they do, maybe it comes up like 85% there. Not quite 100%. There's like a little padding they give themselves of success. And anyway, I'm laughing because I have some big personality energy here. In general, I feel like you attract, Virgo, big personality energy. Interesting, just something about what's here are people that would be drawn to you. You get people who are wanting to be more than they are and constantly seeking ways to make themselves much more than they were yesterday. Very competitive energy, very bold energy, very bombastic energy, just personalities. Personalities that in some way they seek growth, they seek expansion. They also take pride in their ability. And that's probably too what draws them to you. And then leads them to maybe have a little bit of energy of acquisition towards you. I discovered. Anyway, there is that vein of energy here. The moon with 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, Magician, and 8 of Wands basically tells me a large personality is coming your way. Large personalities are coming your way. People who are competent, but also not all that they seem. People who would want to meet you, know more about you. You will know more about them as well. Also, we could say, Virgo, in this energy, The people that you will meet, I have new connection and I have new energy here. And I have new offerings that are coming to you. These connections, Virgo, just in general, I'm going to say that when people deal with you, they grow. They definitely grow, they evolve, they notice things that they wouldn't normally have noticed before. They learn things that they'll recall and keep with them as an active lesson. And in this energy, what I have here is also someone that's coming, or perhaps a group of people that are coming, Virgo. And you will see things quite differently when you start to meet them. You have a growth phase coming, Virgo. I think, too, in this energy, it could catch you a little bit by surprise. Virgo, I do see love for you. I see new connections. I see a strong personality. I think you attract strong personalities to begin with, very dedicated people, or people who are heads down in what they do, their craft, their goal, their vocation, what have you. And this Page of Pentacles just isn't necessarily a new opportunity, but it's going to be a new way of operating for you or presenting, Virgo. Thank you for the likes. Hello. Or presenting, Virgo, definitely a new direction you did not consider before. And I feel like, too, with this large personality type of energy that's coming your way, you're going to be seeing the attractiveness of it, not of the person, not physical attractiveness, but the attractiveness. You're going to start seeing something in an entirely different light. Perhaps something that's been around you, something that you have not really had the time to consider or the attention to consider. And it's not going to take that long either, Virgo, for you to look into it and see what else could be there, or what you can do with it, where you can go. I do think, too, this person or these people should be very exciting. I do think that as well. Virgo, let's go and check out the 12 sign zodiac affinity, shall we? So as I mentioned earlier, this is about the pink energy. So not necessarily love and passion, but this is love and compassion, love and understanding, love and empathy. A good solid foundation for all those other positive, hopefully positive emotions to build upon. You can use this for friendship as well, Virgo. So not just love, but you can also use it for friendship. You can also consider this, Virgo, as someone who you're dealing with actively, someone who you know but you haven't been dealing with, but maybe you've been thinking about them a lot. Could be also someone who you just meet. So Virgo, the first, that Hermit came up somewhere. Virgo, let's go and see the first element we'll start with. Start with water. We'll start with Scorpio. Virgo. So Virgo, if a Scorpio is on your mind, if you're dealing with a Scorpio, if you meet a Scorpio, I want that card, that Scorpio towards you is set in their ways. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, Scorpio is playing games. Scorpio believe they're in a position of power when it comes to you. They believe that they're in a position of power with you. They believe, Virgo, that they can play the game, whatever game they're playing. They believe that as long as they make the right steps, Virgo, you will be acquiescent to them in some way. Talking about Scorpio, right? Just making sure with these energies that are coming up. If you're dealing with a Scorpio too, Virgo, know that Scorpio is acting this way because it is all posturing. If you know this Scorpio, Scorpio probably has something, well, either one or two things. Scorpio has some news they could share with you, but they don't. It would be embarrassing. Scorpio has a loss of some sort that they feel, and is very probable it could be true, but Scorpio feels if you knew it, Virgo, your perception of them would be significantly changed. Scorpio would rather appear like they have lots of game than for you to know the truth, Virgo, about what went down. Also in this energy, I mean, this could have something to do with you if you're dealing with a Scorpio, Virgo. If you just meet a Scorpio, Scorpio is trying to present themselves in a much stronger light than they actually are. Still doesn't negate this energy. Scorpio suffered a loss somewhere. Scorpio took a misstep. Scorpio had an idea that didn't quite turn out, and instead they suffered a big failure. This failure is a loss. According to Scorpio, and maybe if you've heard what it was exactly, you would agree. So it's also why Scorpio is playing games. Scorpio is also doing this to keep you from getting too close, Virgo, about what's been going down with them. Their own business, their own embarrassing business. Not going to go and see what it is, not interested. But that's why Scorpio would be playing games. Scorpio is trying to present themselves in a strong light. Scorpio is not strong at all. Sad. Anyway, yeah, that's Scorpio. Oh, and obviously, with Scorpio having that much game in their step, Virgo, there's better games to play, Virgo. Scorpio has other things they need to focus on. Let Scorpio go and clear those things out, Virgo. Let's do Pisces. Pisces for a Virgo. Let's see how Pisces is with Virgo right now. Four of Wands. Pisces is waiting for something. Something that Pisces has done before, Virgo, and it hasn't come through yet for them, Virgo. Could have something to do with you, Virgo. It could. But ultimately, this is Pisces energy. Pisces is awaiting something. Could have nothing to do with you. Could have something to do with you. Basically, in this energy, Virgo, what Pisces has set in motion is something they did a while enough ago. Almost feels like in this energy, though, Pisces is not going to talk about it. Pisces is anticipating. Pisces will not necessarily bite on it. So that's basically the energy right here of Pisces. If you're dealing with a Pisces, know that Pisces has some plans that they're not sharing with you. They have some expectations that they're not going to elaborate upon. If Pisces has had expectations of you, Virgo, I don't think they're going to necessarily talk about it any more than they already have. If they're talking about it, or if they have spoken about it at all. In this energy, if Pisces is expecting something from you, Virgo, they expect you, well, I guess, Pisces, they would expect you to pick up on that, to understand that, to move on that. If it's important enough to you, if it's important enough to you to do so. But in general, Pisces is waiting on something. Pisces has been waiting for that for a while. And ultimately, that's where Pisces' attention is. Now, if it's with a breakthrough, a relationship issue with you, then that's good. But it also feels like in this energy, it's larger than that. So something to think about. I think I have to plug in my battery for a moment. So 1 second. Hello. Nice to see you. So the final water sign, and that will be oh, you're feeling great? That's good. I'm feeling okay. For some reason, I think I'm smelling the neighbor's dinner. There's a food smell in here. Not necessarily making me hungry or anything like that, but that is a smell that I've been smelling over the past maybe 10 minutes. There's where I am, I have an AC that is plugged. There's like the AC that's connected to the outside. So if somebody is grilling or something like that outside, this kind of tomato and oil smell. Yes. So that's what I'm doing here. Something to change the smell, because it really does smell like, I don't know, something like an oily tomato dish or something. Fried pasta, or I don't know, barbecue, or I don't know, something with oil and tomatoes and some meat. Okay, so Cancer. This has been going on and off, so I may take this, I may end it here and pick it up a little later. But essentially, if you're dealing with a Cancer, Cancer's lost something significant to them, or Cancer is aware of significant loss. Cancer could have had certain types of expectations from somebody who should have stepped into their role and they did not, should have stepped into their responsibility and they did not. And Cancer, at some point, could be recent, could be a long time ago, could be in their early childhood with Hierophant, but either way, Cancer suffered a hit. At some point, Cancer suffered a hit when they actually counted on responsibility, or this person should blah, 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 and that person never did anything of what they should have done. Page of Cups with a 10 of Wands, Knight of Wands tells me that Cancer is actively trying to move past whatever funk that really has been occupying a sliver of their psyche, something that definitely brewed in the background for Cancer. So with Cancer's energy just in Five of Cups, it looks to me like Cancer is trying to put forward to a healthy type of love. Consciously. Virgo, if you're dealing with a Cancer, you could be dealing with somebody who's trying to do the right thing, but the way they do it is awkward or wrong. Planned out or have expectations of how things go as opposed to how two people uniquely interact with each other, and there's no formula and no rule book to follow. Also, work. Cancer knows all the right elements of what to do, but actually doing it is harder. Cancer wants to try their best by you,